Hello and welcome to Speak American English with Lyman Holton. My name is Lyman Holton. Today we're going to talk about American English grammar. Are you ready? Let's begin. We're talking about I was doing. The past continuous. Was or were plus ing is the past continuous. I was doing something. We were doing something. I was doing the laundry. We were doing the shopping. Ing at the end of a verb is what we call a gerund. A gerund. Let me write that up here for you. G-E-R-U-N-D. Gerund. That is simply a verb with ing at the end of it. Was, were, plus a gerund. Let's look at some sentences. Let's see how we can make this work for us in grammar. Here are examples of sentence. Here is an example of a sentence using the past continuous. We're talking about Mary, a woman named Mary. Mary began reading at 3 o'clock. That is not the past continuous. That's just something we're talking about. Happened. There's no was or were. Correct? You have an ing and a gerund, but no was or were. Not past continuous. Mary was reading at 3:30. Here's our past continuous, right? We have the word was, and we've got a gerund with the word was. So, this is the past continuous. We're talking about something in the past that was ongoing. Mary stopped reading at 4 o'clock. So, here's the end of the story. But it's not the past continuous, this sentence. This sentence is the past continuous. Here, there's no was or were. We have the gerund, but no was or were. Past continuous. Let's look at another one. Continuing on, let's look at the positive, the negative, and question sentences that involve the past continuous. Remember, was or were plus a gerund, a verb with ing on the end of it. That's the past continuous. For the positive, we have I was watching, he was living, she was watching, could be walking, talking, driving, a gerund, ing, a verb before it. It was living. Maybe we're talking about a dog. It was living under the porch. She was watching television. We get down here. Now we had was. Now we're going to go to were. We were watching. We were watching television. We were watching a movie. We were watching the children play. You were living. You were living in an apartment. You were living in an apartment. They were watching a baseball game. Many different things we could put in here for verbs, of course. Now that's the positive. Look at the negative. Let's look at the negative, all right? So we need the word not, or we can make a contraction for wasn't. I wasn't watching television. He wasn't living in America. She wasn't watching a movie. It wasn't watching the birds in the park. Maybe we're talking about a cat. Now we have were. Okay, we've got were. We've got not, were not, weren't. We weren't watching a movie. You weren't living across the street. They weren't watching television. Positive, negative. Now let's look at question. Question. All we have to do for a question is switch these around, right? Just reverse. That's all we have to do. So, for a question, we're going to say, was I watching? Was I watching TV? Was he living in Minnesota? Was she watching a movie when you went in the house? Was it living under the porch? A cat, a dog? Were we watching the children last night? Were you living in California last year? Were they watching a baseball game when you called them? Positive, negative, question. Let's continue. Let's not confuse the present and the past. The present, am, is, are, plus ing, a verb ending in ing, a gerund. The past, was or were, ending with ing, a verb. Happening now. Now is the present. Now. I'm driving. I'm driving to work. I'm driving my mother to the doctor. I'm driving. Now. It isn't sunny. It isn't sunny now. What are you eating? What are you eating now? We go to the past. Here we had am. Now we have was. I was driving. I was driving to work at 8 o'clock this morning and I saw an accident. It wasn't sunny. So instead of is, isn't, was, wasn't. Was for the past. It wasn't sunny yesterday. It wasn't sunny this morning. What were you eating? So we had are, you eating, were, you eating, the past. What were you eating at lunchtime today? Ugh, what was that? That concludes this lesson for today. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you at our next lesson. Goodbye for now.